Hey everybody, let's talk a little bit about relationships today. And I want to just talk about the elephant in the room sometimes, right? Relationships take work. And so often society ignores that, or they think that when they hear that relationships take work, they immediately think something's wrong with the relationship. And people want to glamorize, right, what the fairy tales, what we grow up seeing in the movies and the happy ending and all of these positive social media posts and oh, look at so and so, look at their marriage, or they're so happy they just went on this trip. And we see all of these things that people glamorize. Well, of course, they're not airing their baggage on social media for us to see, right? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm here to just bring that to light. So often people just don't want to admit that or talk about it. And it's okay. Relationships take work, and that's a good thing, because if you're working and putting time and energy and effort into the relationship, it's going to continue to grow. And I know sometimes we hear relationships take work, and that's not that's the unsexy part of it, so to speak, right? That we have to take time to pour into each other. And when we do that, that's when we get to grow together. So I wanted to share an activity with you today that you could do with your partner. And I share this activity because it's something that I've done with my husband, and it's something that we're going to continue to do. So I want to explain the activity, and then I want to tell you how you can enhance it and take it even further. So you guys know that I'm a values-based coach, and everything that I do is based on having clarity on my values. Because once we have clarity on our values, we're able to set goals that motivate us, right, and continue to be positive moving towards. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit down with your partner. Make sure that you each have something to write with. And this first part is going to be done completely separately. So there's no talking aloud in this first part. That's very important, okay? So with this first part, you're going to sit down separately and you're going to write down a list of values answering this question. What's most important to you in your relationship? What's most important? So you're going to write a whole list of values, things that are important to you in your relationship. There is no right or wrong number. You write as many as you want. Come up with as many things that are important to you in the relationship. Okay? Again, you're doing that separately, no talking. After you write your list, then you're going to trust your unconscious mind to help you put that list in order that's appropriate for you. So you're going to number that list from 1 to how many ever values you have, and you're going to rewrite that list in your new order. So you look at your list and you look down, okay, here's 1, then you're going to find 2 and 3, and you're going to rewrite that list from 1 to how many ever values you've written on your page. From that point, you're going to start at number 1. Again, you're still separately here. And at number 1, you're going to ask yourself, is number 1 more important than number 2? Is number 1 more important than number 3? Is number 1 more important than number 4? Repeating that all the way down the list. Then you're going to go to number 2. Is number 2 more important than number 3? Is number 2 important than number 4? All the way down the list. Then 3. Is 3 important than 4? Is 3 more important than 5? All the way down, okay? You're going to do that until you go all the way down the whole list. Another way to think about that question, okay? If you don't like that question, use this question. Sometimes this question helps people answer this better. If I have value number 1, will I have all of the other values? So if I have value number 1, if value number 1 is present, does that support me having value number 2? If I have value number 1, does that support me having value number 3? And you can use that question as you go down. The reason we take the time to do that is to make sure you have them in the order that's right for you. So if you find you're like, ooh, no, you know what, I want to switch them. Because at the end of that process, you're going to have your top 5 relationship values. Okay? And once you've identified your top 5 relationship values, I want you to sit down with those and I want you to write why each one of those 5 are important to you in your relationship and what each one means. This is very important. What does each one of those 5 mean to you, and why is it important that you have it in your relationship? Okay? So Once you've completed the solo part of that activity, then you're gonna come together. And when you come together, I suggest like doing something fun, like maybe cooking a dinner together and talking about these over dinner, or going out to dinner, or doing like a picnic in the park. Do something to celebrate this moment that you're dedicating time to your marriage and it growing, or your relationship and partnership and it growing. What you're gonna do is you're gonna sit down together, and now you get to share. And you're gonna start by saying, okay, this is my number one value, this is my top value, this is what it means to me, and this is why it's important to me. And then your partner is gonna share their number one. You're gonna share your number two, they're gonna share their number two, and you're just gonna go back and forth, and you're gonna listen. And you're gonna listen. And I know that you're gonna learn from this. And let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you a story. When my husband and I first did this activity, we actually ended up with 3 of 5 of our same values being the same word. And listen as I say that, the same word. I've never seen all 5 out of 5 match anywhere I've done this activity, and that's okay. Don't panic. You're not expected to match in words, because let me tell you what happened. We matched in 3 out of the 5 words. When we shared what each word meant and why it was important to us, it was completely different. Here's an example. We both had respect on our list, and I asked my husband, hey, what does respect mean to you? And he said, respect means that I am acknowledged when I get in the door, when I come home, people acknowledge me and I'm not ignored. And I immediately went, holy crap, I've been disrespecting him for months and I didn't even know it. If I'd gotten home from work prior, he'd come in the door and maybe, I know how that sounds, right? Like being vulnerable with y'all. Maybe I'd say hi. Most likely, I just kept going to finish what I was doing, because in my brain, I was finishing it so that I could spend time with him. When he saw that as, okay, just like, what the heck? Like, she didn't even acknowledge me. Like, is she gonna say hi? Like, what's going on? And learning that was so huge, and it immediately changed the way that I behaved when he got home, because I wanted to be able to honor that value for him and support it. And same thing when he is like, okay, what does respect mean to you? And I was like, oh, well, it's important to me that my partner has my back no matter what. Whether I'm with you or I'm not, if someone were to say something about me, like, I know, like, you're my ride or die, you got me. That's what respect means to me. 2 completely different meanings, right, of the same word, and we were able to learn something about each other that we were able to take and put into action immediately. Here's how you can level this up. So that's the conversation I want you to have, and I trust that you're going to learn from that. So maybe you choose to have that conversation over one dinner. Then maybe the week following you plan another dinner where you come back to the table with your values and you share with each other, hey, partner, thank you. This is how you already support me in meeting this value, and I would love if you could also provide me support in this way. Tell each other. We are not mind readers, guys. We've got to tell each other what we expect, what we mean, in order for our relationship to grow and be strengthened and grow in communication. So you can take that to the next level by adding that piece in. And then we got to make sure that we revisit these, because as we grow as individuals and as a couple, our values might change and shift a little. So I suggest that, once a month you're coming together, you're checking in with each other, and then maybe once a year, you're redoing this same activity. You're going back and you're separately going on what's important to me in relationship, and you're having that conversation because maybe some of your values have shifted, and that's okay. What's most important is that you're taking the time to have those conversations with each other. So get out there this week, try the activity. I trust that you're going to learn something about each other, and I'd love to hear back on how it goes for you. Have an amazing day.